going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wizards Outlook. Join as always, Raymond Lyons, Cardo Dudley Jr., I'm Wilson. Tarpey Jr., let's get into it. The Wizards wrapped up their Summer League campaign. Just a reminder, they had one game that they were not able to play due to several players going into COVID protocols. That said, they ended it in a good way. Got their first win today, beating the Milwaukee Bucks 93-83. So, Ray, we'll start with you, and then Cardell, just your thoughts on this, how this game turned out.
Yeah, man, it was obviously their best summer league game so far. It's good that they ended on a good note with some positivity. They really pushed the pace early. Looked like they finally started to get some cohesiveness. We've been saying throughout that them not really playing with a true point guard and table setter, just kind of had the offense looking a little jumbled as sometimes, but this game, they kind of feuded with their defense and got in the open court and got some easy ones, and then that just kind of spilled over. Um, Corey Kisper, man, he showed what things could look like for him this season. It's very efficient night, shot the ball well. Then putting his usual effort on defense, but he was really efficient, and he showed that shooting touch he did all throughout college. Mason Jones, man, he put together a pretty good summer league. He should get some looks or some opportunities off what he was able to do. And Caleb Holmesley as well. He's been involved with the franchise already. And he's showing some growth. He was on a 2-way last year, but he's somebody that they're obviously have some level of investment in. Because they're keeping him around. And they just continue to develop him. And Jaime Echenike, he played limited tonight due to injury, but just his energy and what he's able to do around the basket, he definitely made some impressions in summer league. So it's just pretty good game for them overall, man. They at the end of the first quarter things got a little sloppy, but they answered that with a 15-0 run at the beginning of the second quarter, and from there they would pretty much control the game throughout. Aubrey Dawkins, he had a good showing as well. Austin Hollins, he has a lot of overseas experience, and that kind of showed out today. It's just some plays he made. Remember one play stepped in and took a charge on Diakite, and it just kind of stopped Milwaukee's momentum. So yeah, man, it was good showing for the Wizards. Of course, it's always good to just get one in the win column before they wrap things up, and hopefully, with the work the guys put in these few games, that they'll get some looks and some opportunities.
Cardell?
No, for me, it was just them giving everything they got to try to get a win. You don't want to leave Summer League with going 0 for. That's just not a good look. Because why would any pro team want you? You couldn't even put together, a win in Summer League. But overall, I feel like it was their most consistent game on both ends. You know what I mean? Throughout Summer League, because you could tell throughout Summer League, especially offensively, they didn't really have a true point guard. That their rhythm and flow was just it came in spurts, but it was few and far in between. I just feel like today, offensively, they had more of a flow, but it started with their defense. In the second quarter, they really locked down. That was after the first quarter where the Bucks jumped out on them, and it looked like the Bucks were headed for a blowout win. And second quarter, they came out with a defensive focus that they haven't really shown consistently throughout Summer League, and it paid off. They held them with 13 points in the second half. In the second quarter. And then with that, it fueled their offense. Echenique and then Kisper started going off, especially Echenique. I had 13 points, 3 of 6 shots from the field, including the 3-pointer, 6 of 7 from the free throw line in 8 minutes before you rolled your ankle. He was on his way to some major destruction if they ain't sit him because of a rolled ankle, man. And he's been probably the most consistent player throughout Summer League. Guy, unknown, coming in, no one probably paid attention to him on the roster, and he made a name. He's definitely going to get his fair share of calls, man. I don't know if it'll be overseas. I don't even know if it'll be at the G League. Heck, the Wizards might put him on the go-go. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're going to keep you here. That's how much he's impressed, because he's not the most athletic, but he's a technician on the block. He's strong, and he's relentless. Kisper, like Ray said, he kind of found a role for him with this team that he's starting to get what they would need from him as they move on to what I call the big show. You know what I'm saying? Where the veterans and stuff start coming in. You know what I mean? And that's what he's gonna have to do. I like that how he adjusted his game. He was hitting shots from the outside. He didn't just settle out there. You know what I mean? He gave the defense something to think about. That he'll pump fake and get to the lane and score. He's going to have to do more of that because they definitely, as he hits shots from the outside, they definitely going to look to run him off the 3-point line consistently, see if he can, he can handle the rock and make plays, man, and then attack him defensively. But overall, I just felt like with those two leading the way offensively, and you got to throw Holmesley in there as well. He wasn't the most efficient, but he got some shots to go down, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. That's pretty much what we saw from him during the bubble, where he kind of elevated his game to what it is now. He with those three, help, carrying the load offensively, and like Ray said, Jones, he's been finding a way to put the ball in the basket all throughout summer league. You know what I mean? So, with those guys handling the load offensively, and then as a team, they getting after it defensively, showing some pride. Just making sure that they was gonna give everything they got to make sure they leave here with a W tonight. That's the result they got, man. So all in all, it was a good flow. I like how they turned the Bucks over 20 times. That shows their defensive intensity, man. Because in the second quarter, the Bucks couldn't even just they couldn't make a pass. It seemed like without them just turning it over, and then the Wizards was off to the races the other way. So all in all, it was good, man. I think it's starting to sink in for the young players that will be in training camp and fighting for roster spots and minutes and stuff that. With Wes Unseld, defense will be first and foremost, as he's been saying since he got hired. And if you don't bring that, you might be watching, you know what I'm saying, but you dang sure won't be on the floor for long. So, all in all, good one.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. I like the job Jordan Goodwin did off the bench. You guys saw about folks really going about their business on the defensive end. I think late in the third quarter had a couple stretches where he got his hands on some deflections. Some of his teammates deflected the ball, scooped it up, didn't waste any time getting the ball up in transition. Just as a whole, like both of you already mentioned, they did a way better job. Obviously, it was a concerted effort to move the ball. Maybe it didn't correlate in some like one player having 8 or 9 assists, but the ball was moving. Probably for the first time since in the first time in 3 games, like it didn't take 9 years to find Kisper if he got open. Or even if he wasn't open, it didn't take 5 passes or 5 seconds rather before the ball got moved to the other side of the court. Like they did a really good job moving the ball. And like you guys said, defensively, there was a maximum effort was given on the end of the floor, and it played a big role in why they were able to get this win. Because like you guys said, it's not like Milwaukee wasn't here or Milwaukee laid down or anything. Milwaukee jumped out to their lead. Jordan Nwora really got going in the second half. Even despite him getting going, like Washington was fine. So it was a good showing, and like you guys mentioned, giving you just a brief little peek behind the curtain of what this new regime wants, and it's maximum effort on that end of the floor. And they'll figure things out. Obviously, the offense is going to look smoother when you get some vets on the floor. Summer league, like nobody's offense looks great in summer league. Like you're not playing with the same people you're going to be playing with later. Even some of these rookies getting 15, 16, 17 shots. All that dies after we get to training camp, man. Everyone's not about to be out here living that life. So it was a solid showing, and again, kudos to them for dealing with what they were able to deal with for the reasons that we already mentioned. So from a Wizards standpoint, we're just going to kind of hold tight until training camp. And obviously, if there's any news, we'll pop up a Wizards Outlook. But outside of that, I don't think. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add on the summer league?
Yeah, shout out to Mamadou Diakite, local product, played for Takeover, Virginia. Had 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 assists in this game. He played extremely well. I'm not shocked. Obviously, he was on the team with the Bucks when they won a championship throughout the season. He earned that spot after he put in work with the G League bubble. So, I expect him to have an increased role this upcoming season and whatnot. And, 18 got Jalen Crutcher, played for Dayton. one of the top point guards in the conference the last few years. He had a very efficient game, 10 points, 5 assists on 4 or 5 shooting from the field, 2 or 3 from deep. Those performances will get you, keep you in the mix and get you an invite probably to training camp to prove your case, man. So seeing a lot more 18 guys start to just get their shine and get their opportunities. And I've been screaming this since I've been covering it. Like, the league is serious, and there's a lot of guys in there that 3 or 4 year players where they come in, they're seasoned, they're ready to go. You know what I mean? And they can help you. They may not be a superstar or whatnot, but they can contribute to your team and help you win. You know what I mean? And fulfill the role. And that's what most of the players in the NBA are anyway. So I'm just happy to see a lot of 18 guys get their shine. And like I keep telling people, it's not a low major, not even a mid major to me. It's right below a high major type conference because of the experience you got to deal with these guys for 3 to 4 years. So it's a tough conference to win in, man. But happy for those two.
Yeah, I can confirm you have been screaming this from the top of your lungs since started covering the A10. And every year, more and more players keep making teams. And like you mentioned, good teams, great teams, they went on the margins by adding quality players. And if you already know if you're a really good team, you usually don't have a lot of rotation spots available, roster spots, and you definitely don't have time because of where you're picking to wait for somebody. Those are where them type of players, why we keep seeing them hit the league and ready to roll. I think Bozeman Island had another huge game earlier today too. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but yeah, you've been screaming this. So again, get over Finest Mag, especially as we get rolled over the college basketball season. A10 coverage will continue. Get familiar with some of these names early. So then if your team, whether it's next year's draft or the year after that, ends up with one of them, you're not shocked and surprised. You get to go in the summer league like, yeah, I knew about that guy. I was ready for this. Ray, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm good.
All right, just a quick word from folks over at Ooze and Oz before we leave. Try our family meal tonight. Choose 4 entrees. Choices are fried chicken leg quarter, whiting catfish, 6-piece wings, 8-ounce meatloaf, 6-piece shrimp, baked chicken leg quarter, or chicken breast. The 3 sides you can choose from: yams, fresh cabbage, fresh green beans, fresh collard greens, yellow rice with gravy, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, potato salad, or grits. All of the above for $49.95, or specifically at the Georgia Avenue location, you can add 2 cocktails or 4 beers for $59.95. Again, order now at oozandhouse.com and enjoy free delivery with Uber Eats. We will see you guys very soon. We got the Mystics. They tipped off maybe 15 minutes ago, so we're gonna get over on that. So you guys found a conclusion of that, since second half of the WNBA season officially kicked off today with all 12 teams in action. And again, congrats to Seattle for winning the Commissioner's Cup, which was on Thursday night. So see you guys shortly. Don't forget, between now and then, get over to www.thefocustv.com.